Sam and Josh out the plane early on, heading as far to the west as they can get to Zaki by the looks of it. Dreaded, Cone and Manpons right on to Severny. Smack and Viz looking like they're going to try and head towards at least the north side of George Pole. We'll see how far they continue to travel as Bikeman plummets down below Satellizer Games towards the apartments and the school. Previously, we've seen Anthony Kongfang and Grims drop down towards the school. They are going down there again, but this time they will not be alone. Ninja and Angry Pug trying to head to Novo across on the other side of the island. Once again, Rhino and Linden doing the same thing. DJ Pernicus also coming down that way. And we're finally seeing teams... No, we're seeing Disrespect and Tim head towards Lipovka. They did Mills Power before. But again, everyone's abandoning the crater spawn. It used to be one of those popular spots. It's now completely untouched. Oh, Roids is down. Shorty's knocked him out. Punched him down. Shorty on the roof. Roids crawling as best he can, but Punchy Stick's got no chance of saving that. The pair of them landed on their roof. Punchy's got a nade. That's not a chance. Not a chance. Oh, down he goes. So, where's Lyric actually? Punchy Stick's here, Shorty's here. Where did Lyric land? No, not there. Okay, well, there's that then. So, Aver picks herself up a shotgun and is running around through with a Renee in this small car spawn compound. They already picked up a pair of kills. Baru and Bikeman down and out of this combat zone thanks to that shotgun play from Aver early on. But the circle is sending us right in to the bottom left-hand corner. The currently most empty portion of the map is where everyone's going to have to end up. So once they start to make these moves, which in the NA games has been very rapid, as soon as they start to see these circle opportunities, they make that break for it. Sniper named G, Sexy Hexy grabbing a car out of Pochinki and already making a move down in that direction when they realize where the circle's heading. It's a smart move. Get down there fast, get into Primorsk, use your looting, and you've got a lot of time to play with there before anyone else starts to make their way across. Halifax and Sequisha were spread out for a while and now grouping up again. Cooter, a little bit of health missing, but alive, also heading down towards Primorsk. And may come across Sniper named G and Sexy Hexy while he's there. Linden and Rhino once again on the military base, but this time alive, intact, and as a combo. We'll see how long that lasts, because DJ Pernicus and Weekend are here again, and that was the downfall of this pairing in the last game. Last two, in fact, I think. So as they do go through and loot, there is plenty in here for the two of them to share, the two teams, the four players to share, but the question is how much combat will they go through. Smitty and Jericho in Milto at the moment fighting Phantom Ace and John Sandman, but Cooter and Markstrom, while on low health, have found Sexy Hexy and Sniper named G, but the difference is Sniper and Sexy have got weapons. Cooter and Markstrom don't, so they have to turn and run for the hills, while Sexy Hexy and Sniper can chase them as much as they like, delaying their looting and possibly slowing down their chance at win. Well, we said, yes, 88 points is what it took to win the European Games. They're somewhere around the 80-point mark now because of their win and their 5th place. If they die this early on here, they get 0 points out of this game. So Markstrom and Kuda really need to stay alive here. Getting into the top 20 is all it's going to really take to push them up to that win point. For dying this early, it could all be whipped away from them. So they are making a break for it, and actually, surprisingly, despite driving the slower vehicle, the Jeep, they're making ground on that Dacia. So it's smart and strong driving by them to keep ahead. But once the Dacia gets into open, flat ground, Sniper named G is once again hanging out that window with sights set on that Jeep, chasing it down across these hilltops and heading more towards the west. Over here is where Kili Kapowski and Stevo have been looting the opening rounds of all their previous games. This time, however, they've gone somewhere a little bit different. Doc, Disrespect, and Tim have made it back to Milton Power. Despite heading to Lipovka to begin with, they grabbed a vehicle and went straight down to Milton Power all over again. She can't quite get an angle with that shotgun. Shorty's finished off Punchy Stick now with a headshot. It's the 2v1 that Shorty's pulled off in Rozhok, taking down Punchy Stick and Roids as a combination. Lyric did not make it into this game, unfortunately, but Shorty's doing work, setting themselves up. Kongfang and Grim still looting the school. Diesel and Miss Megan to drive past them in just a second or two. Justin and Hammer on the south coast with Cream and Das Medi nearby. Out on the military base, still business as usual. Just some looting, nothing too crazy. Linden only with an Uzi in hand. He's going to need to get really close to anyone he wants to fight here. And getting across that open area with DJ Pernicus and Scar and Weekend on the roof to deal with is not going to be easy. Sniper named G is taking down Markstrom TV. They managed to shotgun him out of the car. Cooter there on the very left-hand side of the screen. They are stopped and out of the car. Cooter's looting his teammate. Picked up the... Oh, no, not his team, just looting loot off the floor. Picked up that pistol. Has only got half his health left. And has to fight against a hunting sniper named G and Sexy Hexy here. He is out and across the street. This may have just got him out to safety. They still think he's hiding in these buildings. So making a break for it is a good call. Their range on the shotgun isn't going to be enough to get him when they do get him onto the far side of the hillside. So while they'll see him, they can't do anything about him. He's out and he's away. He's now got to stay safe. So, Ava and Renee driving in towards the circle again. Coming up closer to Halifax and Sequisha, who are on their path towards the southern edge of the map if they keep going, but they are stopping now to loot these houses. And I reckon Sequisha just over the hillside with shotguns of their own. It's like a hunting trip. Everyone in those hillsides with pump action shotguns and double barrels. Up in George Paul Containers, Darkness and Bongi are fighting Smack and Viz. There's an ump in Smack's hand. Darkness has a pump action shotgun. Viz is right here with Smack, and they are trying to surround Darkness. They do get to one on either side of him, but Viz gets dropped with one round from Darkness's shotgun. Now he can switch his attention back to Smack, who has this ump, is pushing up close, but that's not going to work. Darkness aggressively spins around the containers, drops both Viz and Smack without Bongi's help. Takes away two of the favorites. So, all of those rank points, all those leaderboard scores, don't speak for much when Battle Royale is in reality. Julia and Timap up here on the edge with Killy and Stevo circling the basement of their building. Julia looking for them out through the window, does catch a quick glimpse of Stevo darting behind that shed. Just looks away as he comes back around the corner, and good job he did, because those shots rattled off the roof behind where her head used to be. She looks to seal up these doors and wait for Timac to come and support. He's got a car and is driving over here, but does he have any kinds of weapons? Will he be able to get in the right position? Grenades being thrown in, landing on the floors below, forcing Julia to move around a little bit. Not really threatening her life too much. Shotgun in Kelly's hands, as well as an M16, so she can pick some shots off at a range or push the building. Timac has an M16 himself, yeah, pulls out of the car and is now going to try and fire from range to support here. Has a 2x scope to make it happen, but is looking towards the building his teammates in, less so where the enemy players are. He's looking to cover any kind of pushes up the staircase and the middle floor instead. As Julia starts to see and hear their movement in the car of their own, she's feeling a bit safer. As Steve and Gilly decide it's no longer a safe play to be. They do bail out. They've taken a bit of damage. They need to go heal up. There's no real reason to fight over that area, especially with the blue coming in. So just grab their car and drive clear off to safety. Kuda's still running around, hiding from Sniper and GM Sexy Hexy, looting a couple of buildings of his own, trying to get what weapons and armor he can find and scrounge out of some very sparse buildings. But he's alive, and right now that's all that counts. They just need to get a high finish. They don't need to get lots of kills anymore if they want to win this thing. Doc Disrespect and Tim, buggy in hand, driving through the red zone. Stopping to loot up this one lonely red building on the edge of the farmland. Miles away from no one. They have double shotguns in tow. So whenever they do find someone, they've got to get right up close. And well, maybe Little Lexi and Eddie Monster are that pairing. They are hiding in Pachinki as a combination, and the shotguns would tear through them if they can get them to the right spot. Sequisha and Halifax on this farm side. Fake uniform Deathridge. Don't know if they spotted them, but they're pushing straight towards that compound. They've got open ground to cover here, but if they can get up close, there's good defilade that they can use to look in towards that barn and to cover the doorways in and out of it. So if they know there's players in there, from this position, Fake Uniform's in here, or from the hillside and this broken wall, he can do some damage when Sakrisha and Halifax leave. But he's going a little bit more aggressive so that he can see up through a couple of the windows and let his teammate do some damage from a distance. So everyone surrounding this building. Fake Uniform and Deathrich having angles on a couple of different windows and doors. Not looking to be too patient and wait for it. They're looking for movement, looking to try and find an opening and kill these players outright instead of wait for them to come out of the building. Maybe perhaps in fact they've just accepted the fact that maybe they're not there anymore. Maybe they think they've moved along, continuing to loot some buildings of their own. Meanwhile, over here in that red zone, there's a whole bunch of players running from the blue. Shots out of the moving car from Curvy Llama, trying to take down Gassy Mexican. Sorry, Gassy Mexican's on our team, trying to take down Kili Kapowski and Stevo, who still haven't managed to heal up from their earlier exchanges. But continuing through the red and in towards the safety of the white zone, the white play area. Trying to find a little bit more to play with. Well, there's that.
We'll have to rejoin the game.
Yes, thankfully we can rejoin the game from the spectate option. To be fair, it's the first and only spectate crash we've had of the day, but it also gives us an opportunity to celebrate breaking that $100,000 mark. Guys, thank you so much for putting us through and over that goal. As a total right now, Games Outreach will be receiving over $200,000 thanks to you guys and thanks to Bluehole matching those donations. So thank you for making that happen. The game will reload, the players will be fine and be playing all in through. We can reconnect through and continue spectating. And don't forget, if you don't want to miss any of the action, all of the players playing that game and the ones dead are still spectating it, so you can go and watch it from their perspectives if you don't want to miss any single seconds of the action. So all of their streams are still live and you can see it from their points of view. We will be back in as we're going. We are starting to see some players clump up now though, because of where the circle was, because it's in that bottom left corner of the map and everyone is heading their way across. They're all starting to make the same points. They all want to grab a little bit more loot in the buildings on the edge. They all want to hide in the cover of these buildings right on the edge of the white circle, and as a result that's gravitating them all together.
Yeah, actually in this game we saw that the plane carried the players more to the eastern side and the circle was on the opposite side, so all the players had to cross that middle point of the island. And because of that, most of them are not properly geared. Like you see a lot of shotguns, SMGs in action.
Yeah, exactly. So while these combats of the small spot of areas will be explosive because of the shotguns, the armor that they don't have may be a challenge of people. So we'll stay away from the red zones from here on out and keep ourselves safe from possible follow-ups, as we do now ride on board with Shorty and his Dacia towards the north side of this circle and towards the mountain spawn, skirting around Gassy Mexican and Curvy Llama. He does get away from them with a distance. He is one of the few players that's actually pretty well geared, having killed 2 players and looted almost all of Roshok on his own. Shorty has quite a lot to play with, so he can do some damage here to this pairing if he positions well. Realizing though that they found him in that spot and immediately gets in the car to drive off again somewhere different. Up on the mountain itself, there's currently no one, but Bongi is over in the hospital to the far side. Gold Glove has just grabbed a vehicle and will be coming down through George Pole with that shortly past Darkness and Bongi. Tim the Tapman, Doc Disrespect still alive for a little bit longer. Loyal Patriot taking a lot of damage behind this tree. Richard's going to try and push forward onto him, and it's a quick and easy kill as he steps out from behind the tree. I think that was an ADWM on that body too, but Richard's quickly taking damage from the teammate. DP's up and over the top of the hillside. He's picked off and knocked out himself, but he still has Pudado here. Sorry, Justin here to take down Pudado, who will pick up a second kill and team wipe Justin and Richard Hammer. Pudado's on such a little amount of health, but it does mean he can pick up that AWM, heal up, and continue the game for a little bit longer. Tim and Doc still circling the top edge. Shorty still circling around Gassy and Curvy, trying to find an opportunity to pick one of them off, but ultimately continuing to stay mobile so he can't get pinched. It's one of the biggest problems as a solo player, is getting pinched out by a group of teams or just 2-on-1. Deathridge and Fake Uniform decided to pick in this building to sit and hold, while Halifax and Screecher are still in that barn. Don't think they realise each other are here at the moment, to be completely honest, because Deathridge and Fake Uniform came up here, skirted around it, thought about it, and are now sitting way off looking the other direction. Halifax is at this window and has a third-person angle through to the house they're in, but isn't necessarily using it, so we'll see. Meanwhile, Darkness, Bongi, still looting the hospital, will be coming down soon. Gold Gloves coming down the coast with Fairlight. Jericho and Smitty skirting around the outside of these small houses that hold a couple of players, only to end up coming straight towards Josh and Summit. Josh has a Vector in hand. Summit has a Scar L, and they destroy Smitty as they try and drive that Dacia past. Jericho is still trying to make it away. He takes one more bullet as he pulls a sick wheelie off and over that edge to dart away and into the mainland. He does get away with it. He is alive, but he has lost his teammate. Sniper Neon G and Sexy Hexy, they would have heard that and know that Summit and Josh are up here now and are pushing for them. Summit has a good angle here on Sniper Neon G and has forced him prone on the hillside, but he thinks he can prone himself up towards the rock, and he's right. Thanks to the shots from his teammate coming from behind him, he's got good cover. Sexy Hexy is pinning Summit down, which means Sniper can push up with the Vector. Summit has the Scar. Josh has a Vector. Sniper Name G takes down Josh. Shotgun, though, still in Summit's hand, will take down Sniper in return. And, well, it's 1v1 while Sexy Hexy's at the bottom of the hillside. Josh, though, can be revived because he's far enough back over the edge. Summit's going to go for it, but they're both very low health and won't have time to heal after the revive has gone through. So they need to split this fight on towards Sexy Hexy as fast as possible. He's coming very closely up to the hillside. He has got around the corner. They spot him. Summit doesn't have a lot of health, but misses the first shotgun shot, gets down, but Josh is there with his Vector on the other side of the rock to trade it back. Good teamwork from those pairings. Just a little bit of mistiming on that push from Sexy Hexy to try and avenge while they were reviving. As it is, though, it's the most impact we've seen from Josh and Summit throughout these games. Not always through fault of their own, but they are showing up now. Little bit of an accident from the looks of things from Pocket and Wish's car. Pocket and Wish, by the way, sorry, I don't know why I said Pocket and Wish. Pocket and Wish, not those two, but either way, Pocket and Wish got into the 8th spot of the last game without a single kill. They advocated for pacifism and still got a very high placement. Angry Pug and Ninja, though, the players down inside that house that crashed that car. And yeah, they're happy with that. Kung Fang and Grims out on the southern coast, running along the beach, found John Sandman at this crate. Grims still looking for his AWM or M24 as he has a shotgun and a Scar at the moment, trying to fight John off of this. John is solo and very, very low, but he's doing good damage. But Kung Fang with the flank puts him down and finishes him off before he can finish off Grims. And they can now begin looting inside that chest. Let's see what it is. It is a Kar 98. Alright. I mean, it's better than the shotgun for Grims anyway. Shotguns can work, they can be very powerful, but Grims is a sniper rifle, man. So we'll see what he can do with it. The new circle actually cutting off a lot of players instead of keeping them in like the last games did. So we are going to have to see a bit more movement. Angry Pug coming in from the coast, coming in behind Kuda, who's still out on that edge. After being chased all the way out there and losing his teammate Markstrom. Kelly Kabowski and Steve-O tucked in with Timek and Julia coming close from the southwest. A lot of players still dug in around Pachinki and around the middle of this circle. So not Pachinki. Yeah, there's no buildings around there. The south of Gakka or whatever. In that small group. Waiting for an opportunity to spot one or the other. Pocket and Wish top the hillside. Deathridge and Fake still inside this building with Halifax and Sequisha next door. No one feeling a reason to move just yet. So, as teams start to push their way through, we'll find moments, but it's an area which actually has a lot of cover on the way to and from this circle. Players are managing to get away with it sneakily. Josh and Summit driving out through the few open paths, taking a lot of damage. Summit getting really hurt in the passenger seat, and Josh took a lot in the front driver's seat too. Summit has absolutely no health, but they get just into the edge of the swamp and can begin healing from within the car. Josh goes up to watch over the edge and cover the push from Angry Pug and his squad mate. Pug drops prone into the grass. Summit needs to finish his healing. Ezekiel off in the distance. Summit saved from a pan bullet again, but he gets downed with the second one coming on through. DJ Pernica's actually knocking something out from behind. It's a distant shot with the Scar from the top of the hillside, top of the quarry side, takes Summit down. And Josh gets straight back into their car and drives off to safety. It's a nice shot from DJ Ponicas up there on the top of the quarry down towards that spot to take Summit down. Eddie Monster and Lexi going towards the drainage ditches in the north of Gatka and the north of this circle. Weekend have a Kar 98 and they are firing on towards Angry Pug and have done damage, but Weekend is taking quite a bit himself this time over. Has to stop to heal up while DJ Ponicas continues to push aggressively towards the edge of the quarry to find these two coming along the coast. Linden is in a big group of houses around here with Stevo and Kili Kapowski and Timac and Julia on the southeast coast of the circle here. Pradato's down there as well. All in a very small area as the circle starts to make its way through. Kuda still alive, pushing towards Wish and Pocket without knowing it right now. They have eyes on him though from the top of the hillside. AKM in Pocket's hands the silence, so she'll start to rattle some shots off in his direction. Forces him back towards the edge of the white circle. He's safe, but it's not ideal for him, that's for sure, especially as the next one's coming in. He'll have to move shortly afterwards. And more importantly, as Anthony and Grims are coming from that direction straight towards him. He sees them, not sure, well, they do see him now, but they didn't before. Grims, well, we wanted to see what he could do with the Kar 98, and there it is. Kuda dropped at 38th place. Now, I don't know exactly what that means for his team rank, but it's not very high. And that opens up options for teams to knock Kuda and Markstrom off the top spot. Car chase is going through again here from Darkness and Bongi. They are out in the open trying to run through the field, and Darkness gets run over by Kareem's driving. He does have a chance to revive here, but once the white hits the edge of that circle, it's going to do a bit of damage. And Darkness will have to heal very fast to get into safety. Cream and Medi are waiting on the edge of the circle with that car for cover for Bongi and Darkness to come over the hillside. He's used a first aid kit. He doesn't have the time for that. He needs to bandage a little bit first. Bandage a couple of times to get the regeneration going and stall out the damage the blue deals, and then you can first aid kit. You can't go first aid kit on this circle. It's too much damage too fast. See if he's learnt his lesson. Kong Fang with a Kar 98 of his own now is taking down Wish. Grims, I believe, took out Pocket earlier on. Darkness continued to try and run a little step further. Not really sure what their ideas are here yet. In theory, they can continue endlessly reviving Darkness until the bleed becomes so fast that they can't get him up fast enough. But as long as they hit F quickly, it stops the bleed out. So they can chain this for a little way. We'll see. Kili Kapowski's knocked out Linden FPS with her M16. Rhino knocked out Killy in return, though. Angry Pug and Ninja have joined this compound of buildings that have a whole bunch of parties going along on that block, as Rhino is now turning to run away from both Stevo and his teammate. Linden, I do believe, while being down next to Rhino here, is bleeding out quickly. Stevo doing some good damage. The Rhino forcing him prone in the middle of an open field. Hasn't been able to go over and pick up his own teammate Killy yet, but she's in a more covered position than Linden, and Linden's got no health left whatsoever, and there it is, bleeds on out. Rhino still making a break for it across the open field. The Stevo fires onto him from a distance. Will have an opportunity now to revive Killy, but with the circle coming soon, they've got to heal up and get moving towards the next one. Shorty still going despite being solo, tucked in this little compound next to Lexi and Eddie. Lexi holding that vector, which in that small space could be very powerful if Shorty doesn't hear her or see her coming. 33 alive as the circle begins to close on in and starts to wrap its fingers around our few remaining players, a lot of which, unlike NA has been so far, are still outside the circle, despite it making its way through so early on. They are all very quickly heading in there the moment the circle starts to creep up. Everyone keeping an eye on those timers nicely. Darkness and Bongi did just pick off Josh OG and are now looking to push further forward towards the circle, but have DJ Pernicas in front of them. They know about it. He lost his teammate Weekend to Josh as well, but they need to be able to take him down quickly, otherwise he's going to be able to trap them in the blue and they're going to burn themselves down and out. He's at the bottom of this hillside. He does peek around from the tree onto Darkness, does a bit of damage to him. Continues dealing more, but before he can finish him off, Darkness will trade it back. He also had that flank coming in from Bongi to make sure he had a second angle of fire onto the target, and they were definitely getting that kill. They also survived without taking too much damage to get into the next safe zone. Grims and Kongfang now can see them though as they've got in towards the blue, and they've got their Kar 98s up on the hillside. firing down towards where Darkness and Bongi were sitting. They do just about lose them to the edge of the hillside, but going to continue pushing up aggressively for another opportunity to finish them off. Bongi and Darkness do both have to heal, so they could be down there for a little while if they're not careful. Renee has picked off Julia elsewhere. Ava finishes off Timac, so that's a team knocked down and out. Now Grims has spotted these two at the bottom. Kar98 will land one on the head, but it's a level 3 helmet, so he survives the first one, needs a second. Meanwhile, Cream has finished off Tapman and Doc Disrespect as a quick combination with his shotgun before Eddie finishes off Shorty. And Grims has finally finished off Darkness on the other side of this tree. Sorry, Kongfang finishes off Darkness. No, wait, I missed it. Yeah, Darkness was downed and bled out. Just didn't quite see the down notification. Kongfang finished off Bongi. That's the team wipe. All right, Kongfang and Grims still alive. Pocket lost her teammate Wish to Kongfang and Grims' Kar98 earlier on, and now has Renee and Ava peeking over the top edge of this hillside, raring to go and pick her off if she's not ready for it. She's going to aggressively push up towards them. They're not quite looking this way, pushing over the edge now in full sprint. Gives her an opportunity to fire first. She can't quite land enough damage fast enough and has taken a lot in her own face. Ava needs a bit of healing up, but also needs to revive Renee in 38 seconds before the blue comes in. Pocket knows this and goes for a run straight out towards the next circle. Shots rattle across above her head, but she does go straight prone and survives them. Ava still looking for another opportunity. More shots are coming rattling in, and it's Pocket finishing off her kill onto Renee, making sure she gets something out of this. Fake Uniform, Deathridge, and all of these players in little neighborhood happy houses here are being forced to move. Eviction notice planted, and the blue will come and clear them out soon enough as Cream finishes off Eddie and Stevo finishes off Rhino. So we're starting to see some of the solo players get picked off now by some of the remaining teams. So the other thing we saw from Europe is that we saw quite a few solo players left in the final 5. In North America, the last game, we had 3 duos left up for the last 6 players. And well, so far we're following a similar theme here. People will lose a teammate and then make a break for it, but then quickly we'll see them be picked off again by another staying alive duo. So Fake Uniform and Jethridge out of their house first, using the walls for cover to get around away from Pug and Cat and Ninja. They, however, saw that, so they are coming around to use a similar angle to get behind, but Fake Uniform's already been downed now from elsewhere. It was Grims, I believe. Yeah, Grims turned around and shot him very quickly with his Scarel, and that fear factor pushed them back in towards the easy crosshairs of Ninja. Angry Pug starts to fight Grims himself and loses out. Does get downed right on the edge of the blue. Ninja thinks about reviving him. Hasn't done it just yet. Grims has fallen back to heal. Kongfang doing a similar thing, but just to cover it and watch over him with a better position than being so aggressively forward. Skirts around to the left-hand side. Does go for a different angle, but they're both there. Quick reaction from Grims, however, will shut Ninja down. And Angry Pug is also out of the picture. Another team wipe for Kongfang and Grims. They came to play in this final game. Not happy with their performances for the first 2. They're also right next to the last circle. Everyone over here, however, not the case. 8thos 19D, Halifax solo again inside this barn, has Stevo up on the hillside to his left. Stevo is fighting Pocket at the moment in a 1v1, both of them having already lost their teammates. Pocket doesn't appear to be aware that Stevo's down there to her left, and in fact, Stevo doesn't know that Pocket's up here. He's looking the other way as well. They're both just that close to each other, don't have proper knowledge of it. Downside in that barn, Halifax is actually safe from the next circle too, so he can happily sit there and watch for a wait. You see those yellow bodies off in the distance. That's Kongfang and Grims, and Pocket did spot them. She scoped in for a little bit to try and get a better view, but obviously was not going to shoot with a red dot, but is pushing towards them in that direction, and it's going to give a clear view of the backside of Stevo. She will take that one for free any day of the week. Puts it up to 9 alive now as the circle is moving in. Kongfang and Grims are out in the open, but they've shut down Pocket. It's insane. It is. Oh, and they just turn around and immediately pop one straight into Manpons 2, who's now very, very low. They are having to move from the circle, but because they're so close to the white, it moves very slowly on towards them here, so they can keep scouting forward. Manpon stopped to heal a little bit after that shot, so that gave him a chance to move a bit further, but he does manage to land some fire onto Anthony Kongfang himself. More shots coming through. Grims taking a bit from the blue that time around. Manpons takes more as he drops down in towards that small compound, but there's not a lot of cover here for Grims and Kongfang. but the circle's coming their way, so everyone's looking to push that. Das Medi doesn't quite make it into the circle as we approach the final few. Halifax alone solo, everyone else lined up. Kongfang and Grims up front, Manpons solo, Halifax solo, Cream solo, Athos 19D and Ezekiel as the only other team left alive. 6 kills and 5 kills between the pair of them, a high total as a team. Not enough to make the Nvidia prize themselves though, still got more to go. With 5 other kills on the board though, if they all went to one player, they may just be in the running. Halifax still tucked inside his barn. He has a couple of players next to him in the compound. Whether he knows about this or not, we'll see. It's Athos and Ezekiel, as they are very close by, but tucked inside a shed of their own. This shed not inside the circle itself, or it's a container. 20 seconds to go, and they're going to have to move from this. If Halifax times his move right, he'll come out just behind them. If he times it wrong, they'll come out behind him. Meanwhile, the Cream and Manpons holding the same building, firing on each other. They know the other is around that corner. And they both know they've got to move to the blue very soon. And it is Manpons that comes out on top with that Vector at that close range. Steps it up and shuts Cream out. Now has to run towards the double Kar-98s of Kongfang and Grims. Athos and Ezekiel are moving from their huts inside this compound. Halifax still inside the barn. Hasn't moved yet. It's going to try and fire through the window. Takes a little bit of damage, deals a little bit of damage, but is now forced to come out the back door, which is covered in blue. Taking a lot of damage as Grims finished off Manpons. Just this duo now in Halifax. He comes around the corner, takes down one. He's taking a lot of damage from the blue, looking for the second one. Does fall, but he will do enough damage to mean his Athos falls to the circle. And Grims and Kongfang take the victory without needing to secure the final kill themselves.
Very good game.